Hello YouTube, we are back with episode 5. This week we are finally moving on to a modern match. We have two puzzles from Alex Pagulayan versus Billy Thorpe from the 2017 Derby City Classic. I even have a little story about one of these players at the end, so stick around for that. But first, a little channel news before the puzzles. Skip to 328 to get right to the puzzles. Let me begin by thanking my first patrons. Hell yeah. I had no idea how that was going to go, and 6 of you stepped up to the plate. Thanks for helping get this started. 5 of the 6 I recognize from the onepocket.org forums, so let me take a second to thank those guys. Everyone over there has been very supportive of this right from the start. If you haven't heard of onepocket.org, it's the home of OnePocket on the internet. I don't think there's a better way to describe it. There's instructional material, record books, the Hall of Fame. Then there are the forums, which boast Hall of Famers, pros, and hustlers as its members. So that's my unpaid plug for onepocket.org. Seriously, if you're looking for more information on OnePocket, that's the spot. Now back to Patreon. When I brought up the idea of funding in my last video, Patreon got the most traction, which is fine with me. I don't have to set up a web store or deal with any of that. That's a plus in my book. I think Patreon could work, but I need to do a better job of explaining it. With that said, if you aren't interested in my pitch, again, feel free to skip over to 328 to get right to the puzzle. Patreon works for artists and content creators like Kickstarter works for products and games. Advertising is great to fund a YouTube channel, but it has to be of a certain size. Small channels like mine will likely never create the kind of traffic needed to monetize my videos. I would rather you all not have to bother with the ads anyhow. Besides the $3, I'm not joking, I would have made off the advertising, just isn't worth the trouble. Patreon allows users to support their favorite content creators, whether it's YouTube, music, painting, whatever. It allows you as the user to automatically make a small pledge when they post new content. I'm a bit of a YouTube junkie, and most of the small channels I like are funded primarily through Patreon. It allows niche markets to still get cool new content that wouldn't get made otherwise. It's a cool idea. So back to the details. Say you pledge $1 per video. My plan is to make a video a week, so that's $4 a month. But it only pledges if I post new content. If I'm not making videos for a few weeks, you won't be paying for content that you aren't receiving. And yes, you can cancel at any time. You can also set it to only pledge a certain amount of times per month. So say you're worried I might get a new supercomputer and start making one of these bad boys every day, you can set a maximum number of pledges per month. With all that said, if you like these videos and would like to see more, pledge $1 or $2 a video. As I said in the last video, I'm not trying to get rich off this, but it needs to produce some income to make it worthwhile. My current goal is $100 a video. Why $100 a video, you might ask? Because that works out to about minimum wage. I hate to admit it, but I figure there are at least 13 hours tied up in creating one of these episodes. Okay, I'm about to give you the hard sell. You ready? Pool is $8 an hour in a lot of places. Are 4 of these videos a month worth half an hour of pool practice? Be honest, some of you stick $5 in the jukebox every time you go in the pool room. Are they worth $1 a video? I hope so. Thanks for sticking with me. I can't believe you listened to all that. And now the first puzzle. The match is 1-1. Alex just broke, leaving Billy here. Alex has the 15 nearest hole, but Billy has some options. So that's puzzle 1. What do you think Billy would play from here? As usual, don't forget to check the description below for links to the original videos. If you haven't made up your mind yet, now would be a good time to pause and take a further look. Well, did you figure it out? He banked the 11 in with speed. Why the 11? Let's take a look at it. First, if he gets the cue tied to the top rail, he likely only gives up 1 ball. The 15 goes, but jacking up and getting shape from here is very difficult. So he has given up a ball for an opportunity to bank a ball? Normally I would say that isn't a very smart play, but there's more here than that. With a little work, the 10-2 goes, and when you make the 10-2, you get to bust the stack. If you get a little lucky, you might even get to run out. I think possibly selling out a single ball for a chance to run out is the right play, especially playing someone like Alex Pagulayan. If you aren't aggressively trying to win, the match will likely be over before you even get warm. Time for the second puzzle. It's still the same game, but the score is now 7-3 for Alex. I think I have a real good puzzle here. It isn't especially difficult, but it turns out I really had a lot to say about this little exchange. I'm even going to give you a little bit of a hint on this one. I'll show you Billy's shot which led up to this puzzle. Billy plays a little bunt shot, knocking 2 balls up table and plays the cue ball to the bottom rail. Simple little shot. And here we have the actual puzzle. What do you think Alex would play from here? If you haven't made up your mind yet, now would be a good time to pause and take a further look. Well, did you figure it out? Here's option 1. Playing the 3-2 rails could be a good play as long as you avoid the double kiss and the side pocket. If you could get the cue to the top rail without the double kiss, that would be an even better shot. But that isn't what he plays. He cross-banks the 3 to the bottom rail and nudges the 10 and 6. Now, why did he play that? Let's take a look at just the 10 and 6 balls. For one, neither go in his hole, yet they both appear to go in Billy's. The 10 is tight, but the 6 definitely goes. And the real reason he moved them is because they screw up Alex's long rail banking lane. I have never bothered to draw out something like this, but even I was a little surprised just how influential these balls are. A bank has to get all the way over here before it starts to go. Every bank shot in the red is blocked by those 2 balls. A little bar napkin math leads me to something like 47% of all long rail bank shots are blocked by those 2 balls. 2 little balls way over by the side pocket have that much influence? I'm sure my method could be done more accurately, but either way, that's kind of astonishing. Now let's go back and look at Billy's shot that led up to this. After looking at how impactful tying up those balls was, it becomes pretty obvious that Billy intentionally shot it this way. Something good to take away from this is even when you aren't shooting at your hole, you should still be trying to accomplish something. Every shot, even little bunt shots, you should be looking for every little way to improve your position. This is a great example of that. Now let's look back at Alex's shot. Notice as soon as Billy ties these balls up in his banking lane, Alex immediately starts working on getting them out of there. The longer you leave them in your banking lane, the worse they are. And then there is the fact that if you're playing a smart one-pocket player, he knows they're in your way. More than likely, he isn't going to shoot them out of there. Basically, you're going to have to get them out of your banking lane yourself, and sooner is better than later. And yes, before anyone mentions it, they are still in the banking lane, but at least now they go to his hole. They'll be much easier to remove from here. If you watch the video, he actually baits Billy into shooting the 10, which he misses and knocks the 6 out. So, problem solved. There's way more going on here than meets the eye. I think this is part of the reason why people think one pocket is boring to watch. It's boring until you learn some of the moves. Then you end up a one pocket nerd like me, so good luck with that. And finally, to wrap things up, I have a personal story about one of these players. It was a number of years ago, and I'd gone down to South Louisiana for a big bar box 9-ball tournament. There was a who's who of bar box players there, everyone from Moscone Cup members to hustlers from all over the country. I walk in and I find my crew from my local pool room, as you do when you go out of town. I quickly noticed a young kid playing in a bank pool ring game. I say kid, he looked like he was in his late teens maybe. He was firing in bank shots. They were playing by the rail, and he was jamming in 3 rails in the side, 4 rails in the corner. He was firing them in. It was obvious this kid could play. Who was he? This was a few years ago, and that kid was Billy Thorpe. He got second in the tournament against one of the toughest bar table fields I have ever seen. He plays phenomenal in this match, too. I didn't actually count, but I felt like he missed more straight-in shots than banks. He banks like a machine. And that's it for episode 5. As usual, like and subscribe. If you'd like to see more of these videos, please check out our Patreon page. The link is in the description.